Welcome. Thank you for being here on this very important topic on building. To start, Julie, I would like to know, so you're the big corporate in the room, but you're also very specialized on building because your company builds and operates and renovates many buildings across the world, in Europe, in the US. I would like to know, how do you approach this topic of sustainability within your company? What are the challenges and the roadmap, and how do you encompass innovation in this roadmap?
Thank you very much. Maybe just quickly to start with, because I don't know if all of you are familiar with Unibail-Rodamco-Westfield, so I will just name a few of our destinations because we're developing city destinations. So in Paris, you might be familiar with Westfield Les Quatre Temps or Westfield Forum des Halles, Los Angeles Century City, or Westfield Mall of Scandinavia in Stockholm. So we're building city districts and shopping destinations across the major cities in the US and in Europe. I'm heading innovation and our sustainability program, Better Places 2030. And we're pursuing a massive ambition in terms of carbon reduction within this program. Minus 50% carbon reduction by 2030 across our value chain. So that would impact the way we develop our buildings, we operate our buildings, and also the way visitors will access our destinations. So it's a very comprehensive program, not only on carbon, but also on more broader social impact, as we want to drive positive impact in the communities where we operate. And this Better Places 2030 program also encompasses a strong workforce focus, because we believe we need to make all of our employees, so more than 3,700 employees across the world, become all of us change makers and diversity change leaders. And so this program is embedded in all our functions, all our operations, and throughout all the processes we have in our group. This means that for the development teams, for instance, when they're working on new projects, developing new buildings, new destinations, they would think from the very initial design to the construction phases, how can we make those buildings less carbon intensive in the choice of material, and we will discuss that, but also in the choice of design. In the way we operate our standing portfolio, it means how can we be better at energy management, how can we reduce energy consumption, waste, also by working with new solutions, new technologies, and changing the way we work with our historical partners. So this is a program that is going through the value chain and through all of our operations.
Maybe just when we prepared this session, you explained to me something very interesting around the way that you, in your program, integrate sustainability within the operation, so on waste management, and how you introduce new solutions to the companies operating your building, and also how do you impact the people coming to your building and commercial districts. Maybe a word on that?
Yeah, I think what is really important is we're discussing here like carbon neutral cities, and of course it's about buildings, but it's about people. How do we change the way we behave, and how do we change the way we operate our daily lives? So when it comes to massive city destinations, massive shopping destinations, there is a lot of waste at stake. And so we have a major issue around how can we be more virtuous, how can we work together with the brands and the retailers we have inside our shopping destination to generate less waste. Also divert it from landfill and work with more virtuous partners. So we've been questioning our historical partners, the Veolia, the Suez, to push them to be more virtuous together with us. But also we have opened our collaborations to new partners like Phoenix, that has been, I think, on stage here yesterday, to also work on not only how can we better valorize the waste we generate in our destinations and malls, but also how can we reduce actually the amount of waste that is generated. So this takes innovation, new kind of partners, new kind of relationships in the way we operate the back of house. But having said that, we also encourage people, so our visitors, and across our destinations, this means more than 1.2 billion visits a year, so it's massive, and we can have a massive impact if we change behaviors of people. We say, come and consume in a better way. Come and try to change our habits together. And to do that, one or two examples maybe, we're partnering when it comes to food. So food waste is a major issue. We heard about this here at the Change Now Summit. We have more than 2,600 restaurants in our destinations. And we know that they're wasting a lot at the end of the day. So we have partnered with a startup called Too Good To Go, for those of you who knows, in France. And we're rolling them out across our portfolio in Europe to basically connect our restaurants with our final users, so that the visitors can buy meals at the end of the day at a reduced price, and it will help the restaurants avoid throwing meals at the end of the day. So we, as a big corporate, we are the facilitator of positive, impactful solutions.
What I like about what you're saying is the example of saying we need to think differently, and we need to probably also address this topic with new players who think differently, because our society is based on historical business models. And at Capgemini, we believe that we need to completely reinvent the business model for the next phase we're entering. And Clarisse, I would like to give you the opportunity to present your company, because I think that's also by reinventing business model and not trying to see how we can adapt the existing business model that we will succeed. Can you explain to us what is FabBRICK, what is the challenge that you're tackling, and how are you doing it?
Good morning, I'm Clarisse. I'm an architect, and I created FabBRICK, a design agency which develops a new building material.
You have a few slides to present. I don't know if the slides can be shown.
So the research began at school 3 years ago because I discovered that the building industry is very polluting. So we have to find a new way to build using waste, for example. I start with FabBRICK because it's also an industry very polluting. So I made the first prototype 3 years ago, and it was very well in structural and insulating. So I continue the research. I create FabBRICK architecture 1 year ago. So the brick, just here, it's made of recycled textile with an ecologic glue that I create for the project. It's only biosourced and non-polluting ingredients. So the bricks are handmade in my workshop in Paris. I created the machine also. In July, I had only one machine, and now I have 3 of them. So my productivity is really better now. I can make 1,000 bricks per week. For now, the bricks are mostly used for decoration. I worked with another design agency, Malherbe Paris, to create 7 interior projects with these bricks. It's only retail store for one brand, and we continue this year with the same brand to make furniture and partition wall. So I would like to continue the research and development this year because I don't want to make just decoration, but building a real building material. So it's on my 2020 to-do list. I have to find a new shape, create a new machine, more industrial one. So it's a new big project for FabBRICK.
That's a very impressive to-do list, actually. Maybe also a word on the way that you source your product, because I've read somewhere that on average we only wear 7 times the clothes that we buy. So we saw the development in the past of fast fashion with the big retail brands, but the impact is that we have more clothes in our closet and we throw a lot. And how do you source your material? Do you have a partnership with those brands?
Yeah, I have a partnership with GBTEX and Front. It's only old clothes. We can't resell it because there is hole or there is very old. So I take only these clothes to make bricks.
So there's probably something you can do, the two of you. To continue, Francesco, in something very connected to what Clarisse just explained, you are leading. I think you want to. You are leading an association which has impressive results and ambition. You told me that you have built over 200,000 homes in the past 20 years in Mexico mainly.
Yes, we have been working in Mexico for 20 years already. We have developed more than 2,000 home improvements, housing solutions, not home improvements, for the poorest people, for the people that don't have the chance to have a mortgage, to have a home, or they don't have offer. Mainly communities and rural communities, and we really changed the life. I would like to show a video. It's a short video about the first SDG community in the world.
Let's watch the video.
In 2015, members of the United Nations approved 17 Sustainable Development Goals that conform the 2030 Agenda. However, the measures aimed to achieve the goals still haven't progressed at the speed nor the scale needed. Sounds impossible, but what would happen if we worked together? In Mexico, Echale, a social housing producer, is driving the first SDG community. The mission addressed 16 out of the 17 SDGs under the philosophy of social inclusion and equity. The SDG community model consists on the collaboration between government at its different levels, the community, the academy, the private sector and the civil society. Where the government provides land, licenses and permits, basic services, urbanization, subsidies and most important, introduces us to the target population. The community participates actively with decision-making, design, savings and paid labor. The academy provides volunteers, researchers and impact measurement. The private sector and civil society creates synergy to reach a holistic community development by bringing together their expertise in different fields. Echale provides social inclusion, participatory design, adequate technology, construction, technical training, program promotion, resources management, financial literacy and loans for the underserved, and mainly the cross-sector partnerships management. We wouldn't be able to achieve this ambitious project on our own, but with people like you, we can provide greater benefits for the families. Do you want to be part of this story? Join us to build a more sustainable development together.
Well, this is very emotional. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is very emotional and it's very important. It's the first SDG community in the world, and as we saw in the video, I'm not going through the PowerPoint. I would like to speak it. First is the government, and this is very important. Here we have a delegation of Tabasco. This place is called Nacajuca, Tabasco. It's southeast Mexico, and we have a delegation here from Tabasco. We have the Ministry of Well-being and Climate Change. We have the mayor of Nacajuca, and we have the representative of the governor. The government, we have to change our frame. The government, has to be part of this full change. And we have the community. The community, as we spoke just a minute ago, it's around and organized through religion, the market, politics, and the party of the town.
And nothing about housing.
And nothing about housing. So here we have together the government and the community working together, and what we provide is the technology and the solution. So here in Nacajuca, we have three very important things that it's happened together in the world. One, it's the first SDG community in the world for the poorest people. Second, is the first printed community, the 3D printed community that is going to be habitat for families. And third, it's a social program. It's not a commercial program. It's really for the people that they don't have any chance to have a mortgage, a credit, or not even access to a home.
But in what you explained to me, it's not a charity business. You're running it to ensure that people also participate to the funding of the house, have a loan. So you also establish a model into which they participate to access to this housing.
Exactly, it's a circular economy. They have the families provide 10% of saving, and then we have subsidy, national or international subsidy, which is 30%. We have 40%, and the rest it's a loan, which is 60%. And with that money, this is a social business. It's not a giveaway program. It's not charity. So they get empowered, and they are more willing to pay for the home because they didn't have the chance any time to have a home. Our default is less than 1% of our portfolio.
Which I believe a lot of banks are jealous of.
Yeah, a lot of banks will love to have it. And that's how it works. And really, this effort in Southeast Mexico, in Nacajuca, Tabasco, it's really, I don't want to be pretentious, but it's the most important community program in the world to provide housing for all.
Maybe before we conclude, I think we still have time for discussion. I would be interested to know what you are looking for here at Change Now around this topic. What is your ambition, the three of you, and what kind of connections are you trying to make? Because I think it's a place for connection. Maybe Julie.
I think the main reason for us being here is we really believe it's change now. So it's really this matter about speed and scale. And so by gathering so many different actors, be it cities, be it large corporates, be it startups, we can combine forces to drive change faster and at a bigger scale. So to have this unique gathering of actors and diverse actors will be the only solution to get there, to change the way we do things. So this is what we, as Unibail-Rodamco-Westfield, were looking for, absolutely.
Clarisse,
Yes,
you have already an impressive to-do list. So.
We have to work together, and Change Now is very great for that. And here I want to meet a person like Julie. We have a lot of clothes to recycle.
Francesco, you are expanding beyond Mexico?
Yes, we are looking for three things in Change Now. One, it's expanding to other countries with the program. Two, it's funding. The funding is only for portfolio. It's not capital. It goes to portfolio.
Projects.
And that's how we grow, because the more portfolio, the more houses that can we provide for the people. And the third one, which is the most important, we want to invite all Change Now, all Paris, all SDG fans to Nacajuca. They must come to Nacajuca and see that this is really happening. This is really true in a very a place where there is no other chance to have a home that SDG community.
That's a large invitation, I think.
Yeah, please come.
Thank you very much for the three of you for this nice discussion. If you want to have a closing word,
But I'm very happy that we had the chance to meet, and of course I would be happy to strengthen the discussion with you, as obviously we have a common resource that we can work on. And I'm very inspired by the positive impact you have on communities, and I think there is a lot for us to learn from you and what you do. Even though the territories are different, the cause and the vision is similar. So thank you both.
yeah.
Thank you too, because I have to learn a lot from my little experience with your big experience. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a great connection of the three of you, because you know, when usually we talk to each of you, I mean, in the past we would say, I mean, there is not much in common between the three of you, and actually I can see the real connection of sharing experience, but also closing the loop between all of your experience and purpose. So thank you very much.